It's the Six Paths Commandments. It's your boy, Six Paths Dice. Or you can just call me Mr. Lane. It's all right. So, I'm in the car. I got about 10 minutes or so. I got a client about to come out. So I figured let me go ahead and try to give y'all a video real quick, because if I don't do it like this, I'm probably never going to do it. Y'all may never even see me in actual studio, because I want to have to just get it how I get it. So I wanted to react real quick to a stream that Sister Goddiss did yesterday. So the inspiration for the stream was the thing she talked about recently on a podcast she was featured on. I'm so sorry I can't tell you the name of this podcast, but if you look up Sister Goddiss teaching femininity, that's a hard one for me. Pause. You'll find this video. So if you watch Sister Goddiss channel now, you'll be familiar with all these talking points, and it won't be that jarring to you, right? But she has, I can't say they're controversial, just not. It's just not what we've heard. What we grew up hearing about weight in our community, in the black community in general. And so she often talks about what makes men valuable and what makes women valuable. You know, and a lot of a woman's value is tied to her looks and how well she can get along with people, you know, and how pleasurable she is to be around. For men, your value will always be tied to your usefulness, and usually your income will be tied to how useful you are, you know. But of course, no one needs to be rich, but at the same time, let's be honest, you know, you can't do anything without money. So the more a man makes, the more options he has, and also he can provide, he can give a higher level of provision. So in this interview, right, again, nothing that you never heard before, but she talked about size, right? She talked about size and talked about basically the behaviors of bigger women and the behaviors of the men who date them. Now, me myself, I've been on both sides of this. I've been very, very broke, not so broke, and now I'm doing pretty good. So, but I can really attest to how a man's thinking changes once you get your life together, because I never thought of it as I'm dating this girl because I don't have my life together. You know, I think that at the time, my thinking, me personally, was excuse me, was that you can build the baddie, or you can take her from this to this. Don't get me wrong, you can support someone in a journey, right? Or yeah, you can support someone in something, but you can't make someone do something that, I'm sorry, you know what? Scratch. You can't make anyone do anything. You can only lead and support. I can't make you drink the water. I can lead you to it, but I can't make you drink the water, okay? I can support you in it, but I can't make you do that. But anyway, so she talked about mostly what she talks about on her channel, and you know, and what's interesting was the light-skinned guy who actually went viral. And mind you, me and my girl had a big back and forth about this. He went viral for, I think he was being interviewed, and he was saying how when he meets a woman, and when she first, and he's learning about her, and she leads with how much money she makes in her education, she's already disqualified. And he went viral, and you know, all these women were in these comments talking crazy about him, you know, calling him all kinds of names, attacking his sexuality, which is pretty much just all the silent language. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. And most black men, this is pretty much our experience with our women, and it makes us into these men. Now, mind you, you know, the way we see women is tied to how we see our mothers and our aunts and our grandma and our sisters. And we love, you know, the women in our family. So, you know, we want to do right by them, but if we grow up feeling like you can't hold women around you accountable, and it's okay and it's normal for them not to be accountable for their actions, it's hard to do it in real life. And as men, excuse me, you are not protecting women when you do that. You're not a good guy. When you lie to women, you are not a good person. You're a bad person. because you're not protecting them from themselves. You're not protecting them from the environment. The idea is that you're supposed to keep them safe from certain things, right? And this is why it's so important for us to have households where it's a man and a woman, because there's things that a woman brings and things that a man brings, right? And when we don't have this balance in the household, when we're developing people, everything gets out of whack. So in the black community, we've had a good we can say 3 generations of kind of a free fall, because we're letting go of the strongest institution that we have, which is marriage. The only way to stay in a relationship is to stay in a relationship. But going back to your boy, so I don't know his name either. Light skinned guy who went viral. He's a co-host in the show that Six was on. So he told a very interesting story. He said he didn't necessarily become celibate, but he went through a process that I went through, where he was like, you know what? In so many words, he didn't say that I was messing with a lot of big girls, but he said it wasn't women I wanted to be seen with. So a lot of handsome guys that still are in the process of getting their weight up in terms of like their finances and stuff like that. Hey, to a certain degree, you gotta be realistic, because men have to have sex. So what will happen is, you being logical, you're going to have to hunt the prey that you can catch. And so if a man feels like this is the prey that I can catch, that's what he's going to eat, right? So, but as you elevate and as you earn more money, that's your vision, your mind starts to clear up more and more, and you start realizing that, well, and again, especially if you haven't been a high earning guy, you know what it's like. You know how women treat you when you are not high earning. You know how women treat you when you have to depend on them for anything financial, right? It doesn't matter who they are; they will all treat you this way. So why are you treating a woman that's below average as if she's above average? And it's not that you need to treat her bad. I think it's very unhealthy to be with someone whom you deem below average and try to carry on a relationship with them. Because that I call that predatory behavior. So on some level, when men are dating bigger women and stuff like that, and I don't mean that, oh, she a little thick. No, I mean, what I mean is, like she has a very big gut, very, very big face, real fat neck. I'll put it like that, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's not. Well, I'm not gonna say not realistic, but I mean, we have to be realistic about where our women are, And I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like, if I see a curvy girl, I'm gonna look at her and say, oh no, she's disqualified, I wouldn't date her. Me personally, I just need to be able to see a neck. I need to be able to see a neck, and that stomach needs to be either flat or near flat. If you listen, black men, we are so we be working with them. All right, babe, I see you. We be working with our women, and so again, because I want to be a hypocrite, but getting back to the conversation. So he was talking about how he came to a point where he said, you know what, he wanted to change the kind of women that he was dating, and shout out to KS. I feel like Kevin Samuels woke a lot of us up in terms of saying, you know what, how about fuck that? How about we just not going to take it no more? How about we're just not going to do that no more? We're just not going to date very big women. You know what I mean? So I'm putting that directive out there. Putting it out there. But anyway, so the guy was saying how he wanted to start dating beautiful women. So he's talking about affirmations that he started saying. But before that, he told a story about, how his a good friend of his got married, and his wife is a beautiful woman, and she has a lot of attractive friends. And at some point, I'm not sure if he said that he asked her, but it came up somehow where she says, oh, well, a lot of my friends find you very attractive, but I told them, basically in so many words, she told the women that, well, this is the kind of woman that he likes, and for women, for women in their mind, especially if you have your stuff together on a decent level and you're attractive and you're in decent shape, she look at it as, oh, well, it must be what he like. And I think that all men in that category that kind of fall in between being very successful and kind of average, or let's just say the slightly above average men, you'll experience that, and at some point experience someone saying, oh, well, I just thought you don't like slim women, you don't like fit women, and because women assume that men go after like what they want, and a lot of us aren't even mentally healthy enough to really decide, well, what would I really like to have? and then working towards that. But that comes with long-term thinking. So I thought that conversation was very interesting, because I can remember, like I just said, having those kind of conversations growing up, having similar situations, and having a realization. For me personally, right before I met the woman that I'm with now, I told my boy, I said, I was dealing with a young lady, it was a casual thing, we was friends and whatnot, and it was around the time where I kind of had my awakening on me saying, you know what, I want to deal with a different level of woman. I want to deal with a woman who makes me look good. I want to deal with, a beautiful woman, period. And also, I realized there's no, I have to stop dating plus size girls. And it was for several reasons. Because for one, I had to realize that, well, when I decided that I'm going to lose weight on purpose and not just make a slight change and just wait for something to happen, like, no, I'm going to track this thing out. I'm going to use these numbers and use this to my advantage, and I went out and got a scale. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. Wasn't for Kevin Samuels, I went out and bought myself a scale and so I could see how much I weigh every single day. So I went from 313 pounds to the lowest of like 288, 287. So I got about 50 to 60 more pounds to go, to be at my fighting weight and everything. But I decided to start taking it more serious, and then during that process I started realizing that my self-awareness was low. I started asking myself, like, Hassan, like, what does it say about you if throughout the years you've seen yourself gaining more and more weight, and you don't say, okay, I need to hunker down, and become way more conservative about this thing, and really start counting these calories, making a point to eat less. I was trying to do everything but these things, trying to trick my body into burning calories, to the point where I stopped thinking about burning calories. Because for a long time, I didn't think about losing weight, because I was always like, pretty muscular, and I was a big guy, and also always got a lot of love. So it wasn't a huge deal to me that I wasn't lean until I got too big, and too far away from the weight I need to be at in order to be lean, or at least be no more than a extra large. As a man, when you are more than extra large, matter of fact, when you are extra large, what does that say about you? Large is already big. That's like me saying, okay, that's like you imagine a car, and imagine, like, not a truck, right? But imagine a car. Imagine how a sedan looks, right? Imagine how a bigger sedan looks. Now imagine that sedan, same build and everything, being 2 times bigger. You know what I'm saying, just let's imagine what the 1X size, the 1X version of a sedan would look like. You're like, God, that should look crazy. I'm like, what is that? What the fuck is that, right? And with that, right, I had to realize that, you know what? Fat people have low self-awareness. Fat people are not mentally ill, but it's a mental illness to be fat and not actively want to change that. It's a mental illness to see a belly down, to see yourself with a big belly and not make it an everyday thing to change that. So with that being said, I started realizing, I start looking at other fat people and thinking about my relationships with them, my interactions with them, in general. And I started coming to the realization was another reason why I'm not going to date a big girl or a real fat girl is because if she don't care enough about how she look, what is the quality of her care for you? Same way, man don't gotta be rich. Well, if a man is okay making below average money, what level of guidance and leadership and information can he provide? Because there's nothing wrong with making normal money, right? Normal money for a normal lifestyle. But let's say, okay, so boom, the average income is going, I'm gonna say 45 because we got inflation. So, but it's supposed to be 41,000. That's as of 2018. That's 4 years ago. This thing is probably more than that. Next time we do the census, but we'll just for the sake for error, we want to say 43,000. For the black man in this country, it's 43,000. For white man in this country, we're gonna say 53,000, right? So That's kind of between 41, 43, and 53 is average income. We're going to just say that in general. For men in this country, $43,000 and $53,000 is average income. It's like a man making $28,000, $25,000 a year. It's something different if you had trouble with the law, and even then, it's what it is, man. If you had trouble with the law and you can't get that many opportunities and circumstance, but even then, you a man, especially in America. It's a way. It's a way. It's up to you. That's why it's also dangerous for, men to ever be in a situation where women are providing for you. Because when that happens, the part of your brain that has to keep thinking and problem solving for your income will stop. When I got away from my son's mother and we broke up and stuff like that, I had the epiphany of, I don't want to be broke no more. I never want to be in this position again. I never want to have a woman able to kick me out again. I never want to have a woman able to tell me what to do or think she can tell me what to do again, because you cannot control men. It's an unnatural thing for a woman to control a man. Men need to understand that. It's not her job to control you. If your woman ever goes to your phone, these are all things that big girls do too. You know what I'm saying? They try to control you on some level. Control what you get. Control the level. They just try to control this, basically the quality of life that you get. And anyway, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent. But I realized, and I'll go ahead and give you a little story time. So I was seeing a young lady, and it was kind of a casual thing, and she's not, it's not a bad person at all, but she, she was younger, and hey, I didn't have no high expectations. Here to get by. I didn't have no high expectations or nothing like that, in terms of our interactions. But, at the time I was still coming up, and I still was kind of open to possibly being in a relationship with her, but I needed her to lose a lot of weight. Because she wasn't that big. She wasn't like no big girl, but she was big enough. To a point where, like, yo, you can lose about 40 pounds. Maybe not 40, maybe 25, 30. But I say 40 for, like, if you want to look great, 40 pounds. And I did talk to her about it, and it was never like, oh, you need to lose weight for me. I was giving her the game on, well, if you want to have good relationships and want men to actually want to be with you for real, you need to you gotta take this shit more serious, especially at 24. And and also she had no kids, got a good job and stuff like that, pretty good head on her shoulders, but her lack of, because her father, obviously, because her mother was big, told me her mother had got that surgery where your stomach get, all of this, and her mother lost a bunch of weight and whatnot. So she grew up with her mother being big. And I think I asked her one time about her father. Watch how it come around though. So I said, so your mother and father still they together. He said, they live in the same house together, but they not really together. So basically, in so many words, her mother, I don't want to say her mother thinks she's better too good to be with her father, but it's like, y'all older people, and y'all have had children together. What's supposed to happen? And a lot of women who get surgeries, women get surgeries a lot. They see it as rebirthing themselves, or they're going to have a new life after they get the surgery. But who you are on the inside still hasn't changed. But anyway, what I picked up from her was that, well, for one, her father didn't give her no tight structure. That's also what that means too. When a woman's overweight like that, that means she didn't have no tight structure from her dad. So if her dad loved her, he would know, man, everything in her life is going to be harder with that size on her. Men are not going to like her like that. She's not going to have good relationships. People are not going to respect her as much or want her around. It's always different things that come from being a little too heavy. I'm looking at her like, man, she's 24 years old. She can lose this weight, you know what I mean? And there was a few other times, she would want to come over on the weekend when I had my son, and I would let let her come over and whatnot. And she was there for like 2 Sundays, with me, and while Levi was there. And not that she did anything that was wrong, but when I had my son around, I realized how lazy she was. Okay, I don't think she meant for it to come off like that, but she wasn't like, she never tried to do anything around the house. Never tried to asked me, I think she asked like one time if I had one in a plate. I think maybe I didn't come get it or whatever. But like, just there's just things that women do when they want to be in a relationship with you. And again, it's all good. I mean, I'm not mad at her because I wasn't pursuing that with her or nothing like that. But I know that she probably wanted a little more. But I can tell that she didn't know how to go about it. She didn't know how to have a relationship with a man. Now, one time before we stop seeing each other, she said to me, "Oh, I'm just not used to a guy telling me what to do." I'm like, "What did your father?" Never mind. But overall, I started to kind of just walk back. Just started going over all my relationships and started going over the ones and I haven't had that many, but going over my relationships with plus size women, and I realized that they were all bad. They were all bad. They were all like, not the best relationships. They were all. Being with every single one of them was always like struggle, and like being with a dude where it where it's like, well, why do I have to listen to you? Because that's how it would be between two men, and that and as a man, like, you will drive yourself crazy, and you will stress yourself out trying to manage an unmanageable woman, trying to make a woman see why she should do this, you should do that. You can't. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. That's not how you're going to get it. It's just not going to happen like that. You're not going to make somebody, I don't know, you're not going to make someone into someone that they're not even trying to be, and so again, bringing back to my other point about the quality. So I mean, I had to realize that, what, the quality of those relationships were poor and below average, because I was below average and she was below average. Okay, and of course, people are not going to come out and say these things, but I had to realize that's what it was, and I had to say, what, why not just wait? Just wait. So, and then I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but because this is going to take several videos to unpack. But my point I want to get to is, as a man, the kind of woman you're with says a lot about you. It communicates something to the rest of the world. Also, one of her jobs is to make you look good. It's to improve the quality of your life. That woman is not there, to provide the other half of your finances or to elevate your lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. If you are alleviated of, let's say, 40% of the financial burden, and you take on 60%, that means that if y'all live together, she keeps 60% of her money. That's not that bad of a deal, But as a man, when you live somewhere, it has to be your house. A man has to be the man of the house. Period. He will go crazy, and you cannot resist that or do something different. You have to be the man of the house, okay? Because no matter what happens, never move in with a woman, because she's going to put you out, okay? Because that's just the nature of what happens, right? But and also, is, again, so much, all these situations are so much like employment and buying cars. If your car breaks down or you don't have a car, it's one thing, and maybe you can get a piece of car for a quick second, and it's like, you got your hoopty. I don't know, let's say you have some disposable income to buy a hoopty, right? But I don't know, you can buy that hoopty, right? And that hoopty will cause you stress, break down on you all the time, and all this different stuff, right? Or you can wait, save your money, and get a better car. Getting a better car is always the better choice. Like, you have to listen. Waiting for things and working for things will always be better. I am having the best relationship I've ever had because I'm the best version of myself. I'm constantly working on the best version of myself, and also I don't rely on any woman for anything financial. Period. So therefore, we can have honest conversations, an honest relationship, not something where I can't say this because she paying half the bills or she held me down. You don't want to have that kind of relationship with a woman ever where you owe her. One time I heard Six say, in terms of like the dynamic, it's a good thing for your woman to owe you a little bit. Owe you in terms of, you know, I don't know, man. You took out the garbage, man. You know, he paid for dinner. You know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You know, he drive us everywhere and stuff like that. You know, these little things we do, it's like, you know, so it's a give and take. It's not a bad thing for a woman to owe you a little bit, but you know, but you gotta be able to do those kind of things so she can owe you a little bit. But anyway, it's been 25 minutes, man. 6 Paps Dice. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this joint today. Hold me to it. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.